What if I told you that completely disappearing from her life could actually be the best thing you could do to win her back? Most people believe that constant attention, desperate texts, and endless explanations will bring her closer, but in reality this kind of behavior only pushes her further away. It makes her feel like she has the power to control you, and that's the last thing you want. What if, instead of chasing her, you ghost her completely? And not out of spite or anger, but to reclaim your own sense of power and dignity. By disappearing, you show her that you're not afraid to walk away and can stand alone, no matter what. This isn't about playing games. It's about taking control of your emotions and your actions. It's about reclaiming the power that you thought you lost. Silence is strength when you know how to use it. If you're ready to stop chasing and start regaining control, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I own my life, not my circumstance. Let's dive in. Number 1. Silence is the ultimate power. When you are rejected, your first instinct might be to reach out, explain, or try to change her mind. You may need to prove your worth, remind her of the good times, or justify why she should reconsider. But every attempt at convincing her only solidifies one thing: she was right to leave. The more you try to explain, the more you reinforce the power imbalance, placing yourself in a position of emotional weakness. She sees it, she feels it, and it only pushes her further away. True power lies in silence. When you refuse to react, don't chase, or completely disappear, you create an absence that demands attention. The human mind despises uncertainty. Confusion takes root when she expects you to beg, plead, or prove your devotion, and you do none of those things. Why isn't he reacting? Why doesn't he care? Did I misjudge him? These questions start to haunt her, filling the space where your presence once was. From a Stoic perspective, controlling your emotions means controlling yourself. You cannot dictate her feelings or choices, but you can dictate how you respond. And the most powerful response? No response at all. This is not about manipulation, it's about self-preservation. Your silence is not an attempt to make her miss you. It is proof that you value yourself too much to beg for attention. It is a declaration that you will not relinquish your dignity for a fleeting moment of validation. While you remain silent, you also regain emotional control. The act of not reaching out, of not checking her social media, of not reacting strengthens you. It forces you to break free from the emotional dependency that was keeping you shackled. It is not easy at first. Your mind will scream at you to do something, anything, to regain a sense of control. But true control is found in restraint. The moment you fully embrace silence is the moment you reclaim your power. She expected to see you weak, broken, desperate. Instead, she is faced with the reality that you are not waiting, not hoping, and not seeking her validation. And that is what truly makes her question everything. Now, speak out and comment below. My silence is my strength. Number 2, pain is a tool for growth. Rejection cuts deep. It feels like a wound that refuses to heal, a constant ache reminding you of what was lost. Your mind replays every conversation, every moment, trying to pinpoint where it all went wrong. You wonder if you could have done something differently, if there was a way to prevent the outcome. But dwelling on the past only keeps you trapped in it. The truth is, pain is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The pain you feel right now is not an obstacle. It is the very thing that will forge you into something stronger, if you let it. Most men allow rejection to break them. They spiral into self-pity, wasting time seeking validation or drowning in regret. But the wise man sees pain for what it truly is, fuel for transformation. Instead of resisting the pain, embrace it. Let it sharpen your focus, and let it remind you that you are still alive and capable of growth. When your heart aches, take that energy and put it into something tangible. Your body, your mind, your ambitions. Hit the gym and push yourself harder than ever before. Dive into your work with relentless discipline. Read, learn, and expand your perspective. The pain you feel is raw energy. Use it to build, not to break. Every great man has faced rejection. Every strong leader, every warrior, every philosopher has known loss. But what separates the weak from the strong is how they respond to it. Do they let it define them, or do they let it refine them? The choice is yours. You can sit in the ashes of what was, or you can use those ashes to forge something new. And here's the paradox. When you use pain as a catalyst for growth, you stop seeing it as suffering. You realize it was never about her, never about the rejection. It was about you, about your evolution, about becoming the version of yourself that does not seek external validation. The moment you understand this, the pain loses its power over you. It no longer controls you, you control. Now, speak out and comment below. I turn my pain into power. Number 3. The strongest response is no response. Right now, every fiber of your being wants to react. Your emotions scream for a response, whether it's anger, desperation, or sadness. You want to send that final message, to prove something, to get closure, or maybe even to show her what she lost. But every reaction only reinforces her power over you. The moment you respond, you give her confirmation that she still controls your emotions, and that is exactly what you must deny her. The strongest response is no response at all. When you refuse to engage, you become unpredictable and unknowable. She expected you to reach out, seek validation, and confirm her importance. But when you disappear without a trace, something shifts. Suddenly, the certainty she once had about you begins to crumble. She starts to wonder why you haven't reacted or not following the script she expected. Did he never care? Is he already moving on? These thoughts haunt her because people crave emotional closure, and you have denied it to her. Psychologically, human beings value what is scarce. When you become unavailable and do not react, your perceived value increases. It is the same reason why people chase what they cannot have, because the unknown is infinitely more intriguing than the predictable. By staying silent, you are no longer something she understands or controls. You become a mystery, and mysteries demand attention. But here's why no response is the ultimate. It is not about her, it is about you. By choosing silence, you are choosing self-respect. You are choosing to disengage from an emotional battle you cannot win. You refuse to waste your energy on someone who has already walked away. The Stoics believed in controlling only what is within your power, and your reactions are the only thing you truly control. Do not waste them on someone who no longer deserves them. At first, silence will feel like restraint. You will fight the urge to explain, argue, and prove yourself. But as time passes, you will realize that silence is not a weakness, it is discipline. It is the mark of a man who does not beg for attention, who does not need validation, who does not hand over his power so easily. And once you master this, you will never again allow someone else to dictate your emotion. Now speak out and comment below. I control my silence, and my silence controls them. Number 4. The psychological grip of disappearing completely. Something is unsettling about an unfinished story. The human mind craves closure. It needs a clear ending, an explanation, and a sense of completion. When you disappear without a word, without anger, without seeking validation, you create a psychological void that is impossible to ignore. This is the Zeigarnik effect in action. People remember and obsess over what is left unresolved, and nothing is more haunting than a person who vanishes without explanation. She expected emotions. She expected a reaction, anger, sadness, bargaining. She expected you to fight for her attention somehow, whether through confrontation or subtle attempts to remind her of your presence. But when you walk away completely and cleanly, you deny her that expected closure. This forces her into an uncomfortable state of uncertainty. She begins questioning herself. Did I misjudge him? Why didn't he react? Why does his silence feel louder than words? From a Stoic perspective, this is not about playing mind games. It's about reclaiming control over what you can. You cannot force her to see your value through words, nor can you convince her through effort, but your absence creates an undeniable contrast. It forces her to acknowledge the space you once occupied, now empty and unexplained. While she may have initially believed leaving you was a clear decision, the lack of reaction makes her question whether it was as final as she thought. But the true power of disappearing isn't in how it affects her, it's in how it transforms you. When you remove yourself completely, you eliminate the possibility of false hope. You no longer wait for signs, for messages, for validation. You detach fully, not because you are trying to make her miss you, but because you are committing to your own self-respect. Most men fail at this. They disappear for a while but leave cracks, checking her social media, leaving doors open for communication, subtly trying to remind her they exist. True detachment means complete removal. No checking, no reaching out, no leaving traces of yourself in her world. When you master this level of discipline, something incredible happens. You no longer care whether she regrets losing you. By then, the tables have turned. While she grapples with the uncertainty you created, you have already outgrown the need for an answer. And that is the ultimate shift. From a man who seeks validation to a man who no longer requires it. Now speak out and comment below. I vanish, and my absence speaks louder than my presence. Number 5. Reinventing yourself in silence. Disappearing is only the first step. What you do in that silence determines whether you come back stronger or remain stuck in the past. Most men fail here. They vanish but do nothing. They wait, hoping she notices, hoping she reaches out. But waiting is a weakness. True transformation happens not in her absence, but in your evolution. The time you spend away from her is not about her. It's about the man you are becoming. The Stoics believed in using adversity as fuel for growth. Your pain, your loss, your emotions, these are not burdens, they are raw materials. Right now, you stand at a crossroads, waste time obsessing over the past or forge yourself into something new. The choice is always yours. If you let silence consume you without action, you have gained nothing. But if you use it to build, you become unstoppable. Start with your body. Train harder and push yourself beyond the limits you once accepted. Physical transformation is the easiest, most immediate way to regain control. Every rep, every mile, every sweat-drenched session is a reminder that you are taking back power, that you are stronger than the emotions that once controlled you. Then move to your mind. Read, learn, absorb wisdom that sharpens you. Mental growth will set you apart, ensuring that when she does look back, she won't recognize the man she once knew. Silence is not just an absence of words. It is a period of quiet construction. The man who truly reinvents himself does not need to announce it. His progress is undeniable. His presence has transformed. And when she finally sees you again, whether in person or through the inevitable whispers of mutual connections, the weight of her loss will hit her with full force. But by then you won't care, because the real goal was never her regret, it was your own evolution. This is how you win, not by seeking revenge or hoping for her return, but by becoming the kind of man who never looks back, the kind of man who disappears, not to be missed, but to be reborn. Now, speak out and comment below. I rebuild in silence. I return unrecognizable. Number 6. Make them curious, not nostalgic. Most men who get left behind hope to be remembered. They want to linger in her mind as the good guy she left, the one she might miss when she reminisces. But nostalgia is passive. It doesn't compel action. It doesn't create urgency. What you need to cultivate is curiosity. And curiosity is far more powerful than simple remembrance. Nostalgia keeps you in the past. It makes her recall moments, but doesn't make her question herself. Curiosity, however, leaves an open question, a missing puzzle piece that her mind cannot ignore. What happened to him? Why is he so different? Why isn't he reacting the way I expected? These questions are the beginning of doubt, and doubt is what disrupts certainty. Stoicism teaches us not to seek external validation, but to control how we are perceived through our actions. Your transformation must be unpredictable. If she can predict your emotions, your behaviors, and your reactions, then you are still playing into her narrative. But when you become something she cannot define, something she cannot read, you become intriguing. You become someone she needs to understand but cannot. The mistake most men make is trying to prove they are better. They post pictures, they show off, and they make sure she knows they are doing well. But proving something means you are still seeking recognition. The truly powerful man disappears without explanation, reinvents himself without announcement, and reappears only when he has become unrecognizable. His silence is not empty. It is filled with progress. His absence is not passive. It is intentional. When she finally hears about you, when she catches a glimpse of the man you've become, her reaction won't be simply nostalgia. It will be curiosity laced with regret. She will wonder why she ever assumed she understood you and why she was so certain about leaving, but by then it won't matter, because the goal was never to make her miss you. It was to become so evolved that her opinion no longer carries weight. Curiosity is what forces people to take action. Nostalgia is what makes them dwell. Be the man she needs to understand, not the one she simply remembers. Now speak out and comment below. I am no longer predictable, I am unforgettable. Number 7. Being unavailable makes you valuable. Right now, she assumes she still holds space in your mind. Even if you haven't reached out, she believes you are still emotionally tethered to her, that you are simply waiting, silent but present. This belief allows her to feel in control, to assume she can return if she wants to. But when she realizes that you are not just silent, but truly unavailable, everything changes. Availability kills attraction. The more present, eager, and accessible you are, the less valuable you become. This is a fundamental principle of human psychology. People only value what they feel they might lose. When you are always an option, you are never a priority. She is forced to see you differently when you genuinely stop being available. She begins to wonder, why isn't he there anymore? Why doesn't he react? Has he moved on to someone better? These questions create tension, and tension creates desire. But true unavailability isn't about pretending. It's not about ignoring her calls while secretly waiting. It's about being genuinely too busy living your life to care. Stoicism teaches us that fulfillment comes from within, not from external validation. Your purpose, ambitions, and growth must come before any woman. When time becomes scarce because you are focused on evolving, your value naturally increases. Many men misunderstand this concept. They think unavailability means ignoring texts, playing mind games, or acting distant while still fixated on her. That is not true power. True unavailability means you are occupied with things far greater than seeking attention. It means your time is devoted to your mission, goals, and personal transformation. It means she is no longer a factor in how you move through life. And that is what unsettles her the most. She expected your silence to be temporary, but when she finally reaches out, when she tests the waters and realizes you are no longer waiting, she experiences something she never anticipated: loss. The loss of control, the loss of certainty, the loss of the man she assumed would always be an option. By then, you won't even need to reject her, because the version of you that once desired her no longer exists. You have become someone who no longer asks for value but demands it, simply by the way you live. And when she realizes this, her regret will be silent, just as your departure was. Now speak out and comment below. I am not an option, I am the exception. Number 8. Indifference is the ultimate attraction. Most men think the opposite of love is hate. They believe that if they act cold, dismissive, or bitter toward her, she will notice them, feel guilty, or even come back. But hate is still an emotional investment. It still means you care. The true opposite of love, the most powerful and unsettling response, is indifference. When you are truly indifferent, you don't need to act. You don't need to fake confidence or force yourself to ignore her. You simply do not care. You have reached a point where her presence or absence no longer affects you, her choices no longer influence your emotions, and she holds zero power over your state of mind. And when that happens, everything shifts. She expected to be on your mind. Even if she walked away, even if she chose someone else, she assumed you would still feel something. Pain, jealousy, resentment. But when she senses nothing and realizes that she no longer has any effect on you, her confidence starts to crack. Humans are wired to seek validation. The moment they feel it slipping away, they start to chase it. Stoicism teaches us that true power lies in detachment. You do not control others, only your own reactions. The man who reaches true emotional indifference is untouchable. He does not seek closure, hope for reconciliation, or measure his worth by another person's attention. He moves forward, fully engaged in his own growth, and his lack of interest becomes the most magnetic thing about him. The mistake many men make is pretending to be indifferent while still obsessing over her in silence. They tell themselves they don't care, but they still check her social media, still wait for a message, and still hope for a sign. That is not true detachment. True indifference is when you no longer think about her when she has become irrelevant to your journey. It is when you stop wanting her back, not because you are trying to prove a point, but because you genuinely see no need for her anymore. And this is the paradox. When you no longer care or have truly let go, she starts to notice. She will feel it. She will wonder why, and she will begin to question everything. But by then, it won't matter. Because once you reach indifference, her reaction is meaningless to you. You have already won. Now, speak out and comment below. I am indifferent. I am free. Number 9. Stay cold when she returns. At some point she will reach out. Maybe it's a simple message, casual, meaningless on the surface, but intentional. Maybe she watches your stories, likes an old post, or randomly asks how you've been. But make no mistake, this is a test. She's not reaching out because she suddenly realized your worth. She's reaching out to check if she still has control over you. Most men fail here. They get excited, thinking, she finally regrets leaving, she must miss me. They respond too quickly, too warmly, eager to restart the connection. And the moment they do, she gets her answer, yes, he's still waiting for me. The second she feels that security, her curiosity dies and she disappears again. But you are not most men. You understand that her return isn't about you but her ego. And the way you respond in this moment determines everything. Stay cold, stay distant. Treat her message as insignificant because it is. Respond if you want, but keep it short, emotionless and uninterested. You are not rude, you are not bitter, you are simply unmoved. This is where true power lies. She expected familiarity, warmth, or even frustration, anything that shows you still care. But when she gets none of that, when she feels the emptiness of your reaction, it hits her. She lost something valuable. She lost the power she once had over you, and that is when regret sets in. But here's the paradox. You no longer care. By the time she realizes her mistake, you have outgrown her. You don't need to reject her. Your indifference is rejection enough. She will sense it, she will feel it, and it will haunt her far more than any words ever could. The lesson? When she returns, she is no longer important. You don't adjust your life for her, you don't fall into old patterns, and you don't hand back the power you worked so hard to reclaim. She had her chance. You are no longer available. Now speak out and comment below. I stay cold. I never look back. Number 10. Move forward without looking back. The final step is the hardest, yet the most liberating. You must let go completely. Not just of her, but of the past, of the version of yourself that once needed her, of the illusion that her return would bring fulfillment. You become untouchable when you truly move forward, without hesitation, without resentment, without lingering hope. Most men never fully close the door. They leave it slightly open just in case. They still wonder, what if? They still hope for recognition, a sign that she regrets leaving. But waiting, even silently, is still waiting. And as long as you are waiting, you are not truly free. The Stoics understood that freedom comes from within. It is not about whether she comes back or regrets leaving. It is about whether you have reached a place where none of it matters anymore. The past is done. It holds no power over you unless you allow it to. The man who constantly looks back will never see what lies ahead. The man who still hopes for validation from someone who discarded him is still a prisoner of her choices. When you fully commit to moving forward, everything changes. You stop seeking, you stop watching, you stop waiting. Your life is no longer about proving anything to her or to yourself. You simply live, and in doing so, you reclaim your true power. You don't shut the door to make a statement. You shut it because the past no longer belongs in your world. And here's the irony: when you truly move on, she feels it the most. Not when you try to show off your success, not when you play games, but when you genuinely no longer care. Your absence becomes undeniable. Your indifference becomes permanent. And if she ever looks back, she won't find you waiting. She'll find someone she no longer recognizes. But by then, her thoughts, her regrets, and her realizations won't matter to you, because the man you have become is too busy living, thriving, and conquering ever to look back. Now, speak out and comment below. I move forward, never backward. You came into this journey thinking that reaching out again and again was the answer, but now, you see, the real power lies in your absence. By stepping back, you've created a new dynamic, one where you hold the cards. Your power was never gone. It was always within you. It just took stepping away to truly see it. If you're ready to continue building your unshakable self, like this video, subscribe and comment below. I am in control. Keep moving forward. Stay strong, because your future is being built with every decision you make.